about to watch a very smart guy dissect what happened with that stabbing. You got, please pardon me that my channel takes a whip. YouTube doesn't upload these things right away, so I have to give you a long intro. What was her name? Iryna Zarutska or something from Ukraine. She got stabbed by some fucking loser. As you guys know, it's a crazy turbulent time in America right now, and this video is is displaying the cowardice of bystanders. So please enjoy, and here we go.
Know how to make this video, and there's a trigger warning. There's a very graphic content in what you're about to watch. I try to desaturate it, so you're going to see blood, but in a way that I try to make it as less graphic as possible. This is an angle of the murder of Iryna Zarutska, the Ukrainian girl who was stabbed on the Charlotte train by this animal who was released 13 times back on the street, even if his own mother was complaining that he had issues. But this time we're not only going to talk about the event itself. I want to talk about a bigger problem in which there were all these people around her, and not one of them for several minutes dared to do anything about this. Not even react, not even move from where they were standing. And I'm going to show you this. And again, this is something that has shaken me a lot. And that's why I just have finished a live stream that I needed to just vent a lot of things and just talk. And I finally had like the voice to be able to talk about this. And there's Iryna here. We're not gonna see much about her. I don't want to show much about her. She is in fetal position. She had already been stabbed. And the murderer had already walked around the train. You can see the spots of blood right here on the floor. I don't want to zoom in that much. I'm going to go little by little in slow motion, noticing that she was already losing consciousness, because that's the thing. When you see the video, it's so fast that she realizes there's something wrong, but she basically slowly bled to death. So she was losing consciousness, and you can see that nobody was around her. Nobody even, already the people were sitting next to her, being direct witnesses to what just happened. And she begins rolling, and she rolls into the space between this separation and her seat. You can see, yes, this spot that you see here in this color. That's why I modified the colors to not make it as shocking. Yes, that's blood. So she begins to just roll in there, and you see that this is my problem. You see these guys that are literally on the other side of the door.
That guy's a bitch. That's what most women date nowadays, by the way.
And they literally saw her. They saw what happened. They saw the guy just walking. The guy had already left. But some people are saying, oh, they were terrified for this guy with a knife. The guy had already left, had walked to the front of the train, dripping blood from his hand. And they were just there, like sitting, like that is none of my.
Jesus said in the Bible, if you don't want to believe in God or whatever, that's still a 2,000-year-old book, that in the last days, people's hearts would wax cold, that they would be like this. They'd only be out for themselves, and they just watch you die. Jesus made a story in the Bible saying about a man who fell upon thieves and he got his ass kicked. And so many people who were supposedly good citizens, they were rabbis, they were priests, they ignored him. And that's just how people are. And that's what God does not like. And you guys are seeing this in the modern day. People are so addicted to their TikTok, to their Pornhub. They only care about themselves. Even a beautiful woman like that, no one wants to help this bitch boy. He looks like, oh, he does push-ups and wants to look cute and buff. I'm not even trying to say I'm a great person. I would have fucked that Mayate up because that's a hot chick, dude. You could get some fucking clout for that. You might get a date. I'm just old-fashioned, ladies.
Yes. Doing nothing. We're not saying, all right, then just try to arrest Castad fighting the guy. Just rush to try to help the girl who's obviously bleeding. Something's wrong. And then this happens. And there's the thing. I'm going to...
One more anecdotal tangent, guys. Sorry to keep interrupting. I was trying to... I lost all the salt out of my body at the gym one day because I was trying to sweat out marijuana to pass a drug test. And my body started seizing up. Because have you ever seen like military personnel where they're dehydrated, they lost all the salt in their body? You start going into convulsions, and people, instead of helping, they ran away from the pool area to let me to die. They just don't want to be involved. They just went, oh, I didn't see anything, bye-bye. That's the world we live in, but no one cares about me because I'm a male and I'm an ogre, right? And I'm not a rich man. But the little girl like that, dude, we live in a day and age where people don't give a shit about that either. This is, North Carolina? I thought it was New York. I was about to say, like, remember last year, 2024, a illegal migrant, he lit a woman on fire in the subway, and nobody did anything. They just pulled out their cell phones to video record it. I'm warning and admonishing you guys to be careful in this day and age, and they really have each other's back, friends and family, because you cannot trust your neighbors. You can't trust shit. It's a secular atheist world.
Already saw this spot. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to desaturate this completely, black and white. I just want to say this black and white because the following thing, what you're about to see is rather graphic. There's a lot of blood in here. So I'm going to play this without sound. I'm going to play this. You see that they stand up and they give their back to her.
You're watching Jesus Enrique Rosas, the body language expert or the body language guy. He's brilliant.
And he's right there. There are like 3 or 4 guys in there just talking casually, doing nothing. They don't run. They don't even run. Maybe they are cowards and they run away or something. No, they just stand there. Then but what looks like black ink is not black ink. And they're still there. And there's still people around her doing nothing. And couldn't there be a possibility maybe she didn't make a sound and they didn't? No, we have on video. This is the other side. This is the guy, you see? This is the guy who was sitting with his cell phone in his hands. This is the guy.
What a bitch.
With shorts. Okay? He looked in her direction. And this also looked in her direction and they did nothing. Look at the spots of blood on the floor. The guy with the knife was already gone. You can say that he was not a threat anymore. He was not in that part of the train. I want somebody to explain to me How can we arrive at a society in which people have no reaction watching this happen? I can understand when I struggle with something, the fight or flight response, something like that. There's something, there's a threat, there's a gun, there's something, but there was no longer a threat. Precisely since there was no longer a threat, that's the reason they were just standing there, minding their own business while this was happening. And this is the guy. This is the guy who was sitting here, right here.
Bitch boy,
This is the guy
boy.
who was sitting here.
Lots of bitch
This is the same guy who was sitting here. And you can see that he saw her. And this is one as well. So in her direction.
bitch boys.
I want to ask that question. Why didn't they react?
I don't know about modern excuses for men. They don't go on the wrestling team. They didn't even play high school football. They can't wait to go home for Netflix and Fortnite and GameStop and fucking Pornhub and shit. But as an ogre, whether I like the girl or not, I'm expected to fucking die by the sword because that's your honor. Wow, ladies, you're really breeding with some fucking bitch boys.
We say that the one who did this to Iryna is a monster. For me, is
If Iryna Zarutska, or that pretty girl, if she would have defected to Russia instead of USA, she would still be alive. Wow.
subhuman, cannot be considered human, cannot be trusted for any kind of society, has to be removed from society. And I don't mean a life sentence. But what about the people who
Torture that piece of shit fucking openly. Bring back the electric chair. The gas chamber is a pretty claustrophobic way to die, but no. He's gonna get protective custody. He's gonna get mental health treatments. Our tax dollars are gonna pay for his 3 meals a day. They're gonna pay for his health care for like 20 or 30 years before he might get peaceful lethal injection. It happens all the time. Remember, you live in a world where if somebody touched your little girl and fucking killed her and shit, well, they get protective custody. You're not allowed to beat their ass in court. The correctional officers are there to make sure that nobody fucks with them. And you better hope that they get street justice in the pen. When the families have to deal with the agony and the hatred and the scorn and the depression their whole life. But the system is, if you pop a cap at somebody because they were fucking around with your life, well, the government, your state, is more afraid of Jesse Jackson. It's more afraid of the fucking indigenous scum, fucking populists overturning shit and causing a fucking riot, that somehow you're the bad guy. You're not allowed to stand your ground. You're not allowed to exercise your Second Amendment. We all have to be cucks.
have absolutely no movement, have no reaction, have no humanity. And this is not one, this is several of them, through several minutes, standing right next to her while she is bleeding to death.
What was this beautiful, breathtaking woman doing, working for a living, let alone riding the bus at nighttime, let alone being alone? Like, where, like, dude, I don't make a killing of money and shit, but if I had that kind of chick, dude, I would eat like a can of tuna a day to save all my money just to fucking pay her stupid bills. To keep, call me a simp, call me a boomer, call me old fashioned, call me pussy whipped. You don't just let that shit wander the fuck around. I have so many anecdotal fucking stories of bitch boys letting their women down and they fuck them anyway for some stupid fucking reason. It's appalling. It makes you like, well, can't turn gay, but females piss like, oh man, losing faith in all of humanity.
There's a guy even grabs his bicycle.
Runs away.
Again, I'm
We're all
just
afraid of black
minding
people,
my own
guys.
business.
Because the fuckest, ruggest bone music,
After those 2 minutes,
Hollywood and shit taught you to respect.
one guy finally arrives. Then another, then one lady. I think there was 2 guys and 1 lady, and tried to do something, tried to stop the bleeding, tried to, like, at least treat her, be with her, stay with her in some way. From all the people in that train, just 3 of them arrived to do something.
Evil people are baking on your pacificity. Do you understand what I mean, guys? They're baking on you taking this idea that's a moral high ground to be pacifistic and to just let things roll. And look at, again, I don't know what your stature is, but we live in a society, well, this is like back east, like North Carolina, where people are like more simple folk and they let a little girl fucking die because they're scared of some fucking predator from the movie Predator looking fucking Mayate.
Something. Find out what was going on.
He knows the struggle. We better not mess with him, guys. We're just some white privileged.
I want to believe that this tragedy is going to change something. But the problem is that
when the system, okay, the Patriot Act, the COVID mandated vaccine shoved up your ass, and threatening to shut down your business, when Kyle Rittenhouse almost went to prison, all this other shit. Nobody on the Republican or the right wing, the traditionalist conservative values, they don't get off their ass and go whoop shit's ass over shit like this. But if George Floyd or Rodney King gets in trouble, the government and the people who rule you are more afraid of said demographics causing a riot, so they fuck you out of your rights. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're guaranteed, mandatory, a fucking victim nowadays.
Realize it's not only the media who wants to bury this, who wants to disappear this, who doesn't want this to reach any sort of nobody. They want nobody knowing about this because they have no way of justifying this. The left.
Well, ABC News is trying to say, oh, his mom and sister said he was suffering from depression and mental illness his whole life. Please don't hurt my boy. His life is so hard when he can live with his mom for free and be a bum and not make any money, to ask the government for a grant to go to community college to learn HVAC or fucking welding or auto mechanics. There's a piece of shit scumbag that should be made a fucking example out of, and no fucking 20 years on death row of our fucking tax dollars. Our fucking peaceful lethal injection. Bring back the fucking electric chair. Bring back the electrical chair and show that shit halftime on fucking football.
Wing media, the Democrats, the libtards, they have no way of justifying this, and they know exactly why this. And when you point out why is this happening, they call you racist.
Yup.
It is a fact that this is happening because of race. And why is this a race thing? Because
Because supposedly there's a global cabal of Ashkenazi what the fucks that rule our propaganda, purposely causing a social divide. And you can look into that. There's something about how they fucking inherit the spoils of war when we all kill each other. It's always been that way. Zionism.
race, these monsters are let go more than 10 times. They're arrested more than 10 times and let go again because how you have to be compassionate, because you have to understand them, because you have to do something about that. No, this is not something about race, this is something about...
Hello, Mrs. Khan. I just saw your message. You're very welcome here. You rock. Thank you, guys.
crime. But the fact is that crime is rigged, favoring a race. So it's a race thing. And you can deny it as much as you want. You can deny reality as much as you want. But the thing is that this has to stop in one way or another. And the only thing that comes to mind is that judges have to be held accountable for this. I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy.
Did you see how ugly the judge is that's trying to cause sympathy for the fucking assailant of this fucking town? God, she should be executed just for being that fucking ugly.
Much love. Endless.
Like that judge is gonna have any compassion on such a beautiful woman that got taken off the earth, in which if she had defected to Russia instead of USA, she'd still be alive, which should show you a fucking example of how our country has denigrated. Thank you guys for being here. That was Jesus Enrique Rosas, the body language guy. And I have to be a douchebag and ask you to like and subscribe so I can keep going live and give you guys real fucking opinions that are facts. You know, nobody wants to say, there's the shit that I say, people are afraid of getting canceled or looking fucking racist or some shit. I don't give a fuck. I will whoop all their ass in the name of the Lord. And you can too if you admire God's virtues. God bless you guys. Keep on rocking in the free world. Any other comments? Feel free. I'm about to close it up. And my whole point of this video is that women date bitch boys nowadays. And you saw that shit in action, that they did absolutely fucking nothing. That's a day and age in which we live. I have to mog on those fools because I would have fucked that guy up or died trying, not because I'm brave or something. I'd be more scared of feeling like and looking like a bitch and have to explain to her dad if I was dating her that I just ran away or watched her get killed. My God, I have a lot of anecdotal stories about how this generation is getting more and more bitch. And some of you Zillennials and younger millennials out there, if you're trying to be a Sigma and an Alpha, especially in the name of the Lord, you are fucking 5 times or 50 times more manly than any of us were back in Generation X days because of the fucking resistance that you guys are having today, having to take on this mandatory soy ethos. You know, like, fuck, guys, if you don't start fucking trannies, you're gonna be called prejudice and shit, man. It's fucking cuck. You're forced to be a fucking cuck. Don't be a cuck. Like and subscribe. Let's admonish the Lord together and become fucking men like Saint Gideon and King David in the Bible. And God bless you guys. Again, I have to be a douchebag. Ask you to like and subscribe so I can keep going live and give you the real 411 or whatever lingo jargon means, fucking real news, real talk, G, all that shit. You guys have a good one.